Right there guys, you join me in a Mark 8.5 VW Golf GTI. I'm here with the owner for a bit of an ownership review, so yeah, great to see you again. How have you found the car?
I love it. It does everything it says on the tin, doesn't it? It's a Golf.
It's sounding different actually. When I heard you come around the corner, it definitely sounded a bit more parkier.
Yeah, but it's got 584 miles, so the last time you saw it had about 300 less on it. 400 less on it.
Yeah.
MPG has definitely improved as well.
Oh, cool. I guess the engine's kind of bedding in and things to get used to it. Is there been anything that like that sort of surprised you since you ordered it? Because I'm guessing you kind of did you obviously did a bit of research. Watch some of my videos as well. To help. Oh, we've got the other owner. Right, we'll resume this at another point because we've got a Mark 7.5 Golf R just turned up, and for a separate video. So yeah, we'll speak about this video separately in a bit. Right, we're back again with the ownership review, literally. So if you check out, well, yeah, it'll be a link above or a future video. I've got a full review kind of going back to back with a 7.5 and an 8.5, an R and an 8.5, but we're in the 8.5 here. Yeah, how have you found it for your 600 miles? You just, yeah, give us a bit of a summary of
we're 500 miles on from the last time we drove it.
Yeah.
Fuel economy has improved.
Oh yeah.
Like quite vastly actually. Yeah, that is something.
Yeah, we're gone from the crazy sun to now.
I love it. Yeah, it does exactly what it says on the tin. To be honest, I haven't had any issues with it. No, it's good
car
fun.
Seat in the back.
Yeah, car seat in the back, because my daughter likes to say, "Go fast, daddy. Go fast, daddy." Yeah.
In terms of like out of interest, because it's obviously the GTI, how do you find it in terms of like a driver's car compared to stuff that you've driven before?
It's 100% a driver's car.
Yeah.
I think it's fun when you need it to be fun, but a driver's car is what you want it to be anyway. I think you could say your R is a driver's car as well. This is for me more all-rounder because I can still get 45 to 50 mile to the gallon if I want to, or I can get 18 miles to the gallon if I want to.
If you're pushing it.
So this is more dynamic for me. Yeah. And it ticks all the boxes I need it to tick, really. Yeah.
And being out on it just now actually for another good drive, and thank you so much for that. The noise is really good. They've really worked on that with the 8.5.
That has definitely changed since in the 500 miles. I'm guessing as things start to get used to it, it's got a lot more pops and bangs and it feels, overrun. Yeah,
definitely like they've learned from their mistakes. I know if people ask in like the comments, like, what's it sound like? How does it go? And you can do sort of the drive-bys, you can do everything, but actually it does make a really nice noise.
It does.
It feels organic. It feels real.
Yeah.
And yeah, certainly not out of place. Well, we're going back and forth with the R. It felt really good. Like we were speaking for quite a while when we were speaking in the rain. There's a little bit of a summary for the audience, and you know, to just get a car out of the box. Yeah. You know, I've got a 3-door Mark 7 R. The other owner had a 5-door Mark 7.5 DSG. No options on it. Your one, exactly the same. No options on it other than obviously the Grenadilla black paint. That's it. Yeah. You know, it's like 18-inch wheels, no dynamic chassis control, no other sort of optional extras. And that's kind of how they're almost intended it to do. And it just works so well as a Golf.
I think it does. I know people will say, oh, spec, you know, dynamic chassis control,
pan roof, 19-inch wheels.
Yeah, which you can do. Obviously, you can do it and you can enjoy it and everything like that. But this isn't a rubbish car out the box.
No.
So
you're not shortchanged. You
no.
Because it's not even like you can get updated infotainment if you wanted something even better. That's
exactly it. I don't think they can offer a bigger screen in this car.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I kind of even want to show you, even just on here. I know I'm not going to normally move the camera around. That's the size of the screen. What, 12.9 inch?
Yes.
And you get the 15 on the Tiguan, yeah. So that's a superb guy. Yeah, so there's no sort of update sort of in the infotainment. Car drove really nice, and it was raining a lot as I was kind of doing like the point of view. I found it good. Have you
the Great British Summer?
Yeah, you mentioned you kind of use it more for just like back and forth to work.
It's just my
Would you ever sort of like, I'm just going to go for a drive? Well, I suppose even this is technically just...
Yeah, I find myself going out more. I'm so much happier being in a GTI because I missed my GTI.
Yeah. So you came from an R-Line, didn't you?
I came from an R-Line, yeah. But I came from an R-Line because I knew that the 8.5 GTI was coming out.
Yeah.
And then originally I wanted the Club Sport, but I wanted to stay under the luxury car tax bracket because...
Which this does, even with the paint.
I don't want to pay £600 a year.
It massively adds up, and it probably affects resale value for the next 5 years because someone else is going to do it. Out of the box, this is kind of like nailed it. And any I suppose I know you're only 600 miles in. We've sort of mentioned a brief maybe an issue with that.
Yeah,
door,
we found that there is an issue.
We've got problems.
I don't think they've plugged that door in.
Yeah, it sounds so like the child lock just sounds like it's sort of always locked.
Yeah, I think that there's a cable that's not been attached.
Yeah, because it's fine on that side, but not on that side. Maybe someone in the comments knows. Maybe
look, this was a learning experience when they built this car because it was one of the first. All right, so I'm going to defend Volkswagen and say it happens.
Exactly, and yours literally was one of the first. You know, you really kind of got this straight away. Yeah, the quality and the fit and finish feels really nice to me. And actually, it was the other owner who kind of tweaked my mind again with the buttons on the steering wheel being actually really, really nice. Just a nice little update, not just something where it's like, oh, they should have done it because all haptics awful. Because you said you had haptic before, you didn't really have a problem.
There was like, okay, they've moved heated steering. Oh, the heated steering wheel button from here, it was down here.
Okay.
They've moved it up, so it's not there. Because if you drive with one hand, you could switch it on.
You're not going to.
But I only switched it on about twice.
Okay.
So maybe that's my driving style.
So it's not the end of the world. So for you, would you say this is like worthy of like a GTI badge? It's like
100%.
All your history of
100%. I think if anything, the only car that never really deserved the GTI badge was the Mark IV.
Oh, okay. So that was the good thing they then brought out the Mark V, which was very special.
Yeah, they've continued with, I think the Mark V hit the spot, the Mark VI did everything even better. The Mark VII for me was a little bit of a dip down.
No way!
Because...
they're so different. I'm such a Mark VII fan.
Because the Mark 7.5 like brought it back up, didn't it? And you were saying like you didn't like the Mark 7.5 because it was missing something.
Yeah, then I found that it wasn't missing the things that I thought was missing.
And then I've got the Mark 8.5 and I'm missing everything.
Oh yeah, well, we've got even like little storagey things. There are little touches cost savings from Volkswagen.
I've got no felt lined glove box. I'm missing my cubby hole here. This isn't covered.
Yeah, I've got the little part.
No storage trays. There's no
understore.
No adjustment here.
Yep. You can't pull it out for that.
But then
no manual option. I've never. It's probably on my list actually to try and find a Mark 8 GTI manual to sort of have a go
around,
in.
so
they do knock about.
Wasn't it like the first year they did them and then they got rid of them?
Yeah, 6-speed looked pretty nice. I can imagine it's because I drove a 6-speed manual R-Line 8.5 and that was pretty nice. That was fine in the manual kind of form. Seats are always good. It's weird. I'm struggling to think too much because the thing is, this is the thing with the Golf. There's nothing really to kind of fault, but at the same time, I guess there's nothing majorly exceptional. But I quite like the whole you're exceptional because you're just as is. It just works.
But again, like
that's how.
Touching on that, just the paint option puts you at just under 40 grand. So there's nothing exceptional.
Yeah.
But you're paying 40 grand almost.
And I guess in today's world, with a lot of more manufacturers sort of catching up as well, you know, this is a premium car. There's no getting away from it. There's a lot of different options people can go for. And keeping the price down is probably quite a good thing because I don't know what more you'd really want as an option on a GTI other than paint.
I think last week Volkswagen put the price of this up by 500 quid.
No way.
I'm pretty sure.
So we're filming this on what, the 8th of September?
It's the 8th of September.
8th of September. So prices may vary, which they do just all the time.
Although I still think you stay under luxury car tax, but by about 200 quid now instead.
And that's without paint.
No, that's with paint,
paint
but I think
option.
you stay under it by 200 quid instead of like 700 quid now.
Okay.
So
That's fair. And if you wanted to go for like a King's Red, is that too expensive?
Will put you over, I think, because that's like £1,100. Oh no, is it?
It might be a little bit less.
No, that's the mint colour, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got so many. The good thing is they do have the options on the colours, so that's cool. I love the lights. We had a good little look around with the design, particularly with the changing sort of weather conditions we've had here. Yeah, certainly a show car.
Yeah,
we had it next to the 7.5, and it was like, wow, this is. And just even with just the honeycomb.
Yeah, they're cool, aren't they?
The 5, it's really unique to this car. And yeah, if you're following someone behind, you'll kind of know it as it kind of gets there. Doesn't lack grunt. It was really, really fun to kind of drive. And now that I've kind of got over my steering related issues, which is basically like I felt like it was too light, and you know, it didn't necessarily have the feel I was looking for. Having just driven the 7.5 and sort of understanding the world of lane assists and motors and all these kind of things, I get it now. But you have to. I've had that car for 7.5 years, so I'm so used to my Mark 7 in terms of the feel of that. This felt good, and it just didn't feel slow. Just, you know, if anything, if you think about the 265 PS at say 1,380 kilos compared to the 306R, but he's 100 kilos more.
Yeah.
Actually, once you're kind of particularly off the mark and you're not traction limited, yeah, you know, my other subscriber, you know, he said it didn't feel slow. It didn't feel like it was lacking. It doesn't feel like Volkswagen have sort of like gone, oh, you know, we're going to slack down on the power at the 245, 265. It's a good, healthy 265.
I personally think though that if we say the Golf is the benchmark, then the Golf GTI is sort of the benchmark hot hatch. You can have more power, you can have less power, you can have
more drive to different wheels.
Yeah, you can have all of that, but this just does everything how you'd like it.
Yeah, but would you, on that, is there anything else you would like that you thought of to this car?
No.
You wouldn't be thinking like more power, you wouldn't?
No. Honestly, it just does exactly what I require it to do.
I feel the same, and it's in a world where I feel it can be so complicated with different options and different specs and different things of cars, to just say to someone, just get a Golf GTI is very, very easy to say, particularly in this generation with the updates that they've done with the infotainment. I mean, the quality of the resolution of the graphics is pretty special. Yeah. You know, it's, and the responsiveness, have you found it all okay since you've used it?
I haven't found any issues with it at all. At all. Which is very surprising, actually.
Yeah. And I think the bad thing for Volkswagen in some ways is that it makes it very harder for like the likes of the Club Sport and even the R to justify that extra price. And a few people commented on that. It's like they were sort of like, why would you pay the extra? And it's a good point.
But it's not, if you're not concerned about staying under that 40 grand mark, then the R isn't that much more away. A base R is only what, like 4 grand more than this. So if you can justify 4 grand, but
the Club Sport is a bit of a, because it's only an extra 35 horsepower more than this, and I'm guessing more firmer suspension. And from what you mentioned about potential drift mode, which I didn't know, that sounds a bit strange in a front wheel drive car.
The only thing the problem I think for the Club Sport for me is it takes away from being a GTI, because you lose the Golf GTI is the tartan.
The tartan.
That's what it is.
And you mentioned, because they didn't, I couldn't believe
the early Mark 8s didn't have GTI written on it.
You've paid for a GTI. You know, love it or hate it, the big GTI on the wing. At least people know it's a GTI.
Yeah.
And it's kind of shouts, and it's got its kind of red sort of signature part to it.
That's exactly it. But I think you could take all the GTI badges off this car, and because it's still got the red stripe across the grille, people know it's GTI.
Yeah, I could tell this more than I could tell an R.
Yeah.
R's generally can look like R lines. That's the truth.
Well, that's the aim, though.
Yeah, that is the aim. There's no GTI line. No. I don't think they'd ever do that, or they'd ever want to do that. The GTI is just kind of as is. Is there anything you would recommend to people, who would want a Golf?
Just buy a Golf.
I know it's really easy to just say, and you can kind of spec so many different options, and you can think about this and how to configure that and all this kind of stuff. The truth is, a lot of my channel is for passionate enthusiasts. You love the car in whatever guise, you know, whether or not you want to go for a fun drive, you just want to take it to work, or you just want to look at it in your driveway. It's up to you. And for me, what can sometimes cause anxiety and stressing out is overthinking, and that's a story of my life. But where with this, it's just get a Golf, and now with the 8.5, there's less of the drawbacks.
You've got so many different trim levels, so many different options. You can get the estate version as well. So realistically,
well, not the estate of the GTI.
No, I'd love the GTI, but I mean so many different trim levels.
Yeah.
God. So you can get the R though.
Yes,
they're doing the R estate.
Yeah, you can.
But I mean, like, yeah, that's it. If you don't want something performance, you've still got the non-performance models. If you want something more aimed towards performance, you've got the R. That's a cool car.
You can get the Black Edition standard normal one now, which with the 1.5 TSI. So if you want the extra styling, you've got that option with just the 1.5.
Not to mention the 1.5 TSI. If you get it in DSG, it has eco mode. If you have it in manual, it will do cylinder deactivation.
Yeah, and I spent a bit of time driving the ETSI and then the TSF. Yeah, basically a lot of them. The GTI is probably the one to go for if you don't really want to choose a spec, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. Base GTI gives you everything, I think, because you still get good miles per gallon if you want it. You still have power if you want it. You have the space because, well, I can fit a 2-year-old in the back.
Yeah.
So,
both of them looking at us.
This is a Black Edition as well, that.
Black Edition superb, part of the Volkswagen family. Is that an SQ7?
I think it was, towing a caravan.
Towing a caravan. I saw a Range Rover. Oh, anyway, we're talking about the wrong stuff. Yeah, get a GTI. I you know, it's been a while since I've shared just like a general ownership review, and you know, you can see as many pictures and I can, you know, as many configurators, or I can say as much, but from an actual person who's got the car, just like get it. And actually, I have seen quite a few decent deals appear on this kind of car as well.
They had like the VIP special not that long ago as well, where they were rocking like $3,000 off it. And
then you're not sort of like sitting there going, oh yeah, but I need to have this, I need to have that. I think both of us are kind of on the same page. DCC isn't a must on this.
I don't think it's a must. If you like it, get it.
No harm in having it, but then you're going to be over the 40k.
Exactly.
Just get the car as is, as Volkswagen intended it, and I'll double check, but if you can you could definitely get other colours than black if you want to as an option. But the Grenadilla black works really, really nicely.
From when it gets dirty.
Yeah, well that's the downsides of kind of black cars.
Yeah.
And you do get a lot more options in colours on this than you do on the R's. It's Lapis blue, the pure white, or the black, essentially. That's all you've got, unless Volkswagen decide to kind of increase their palette range. Yeah, I think it's good. We were mentioning you thought potentially they could do a performance pack, which might be interesting in the future. I mean, I think
they probably will.
Which again would be really. I mean, I wouldn't understand a club sport if this had, say, an extra 10 horsepower. Even at 265, I don't necessarily get the fact of having a club sport, mainly because it's got the same wheels, it's got the same size tires, you can have the same sort of traction. What you kind of getting, I feel they kind of hit the spot on this. I mean, I wish they kind of did this if this was the Mark 8, but then that's just what it takes when you're doing kind of new generation. Positive stuff. Final thoughts. It's currently, because I guess you're only 600 miles in.
My final thoughts on this: 600 miles.
600 miles in ownership review of a car.
Summed up. Yeah, it just does everything I want it to do.
There you go. So if you're thinking about getting a Golf GTI, this owner is actually quite important, because you have had the car for now, what, 6 weeks, 7 weeks? Yeah. So it's like, people, you know, you can kind of, and you mentioned you've had a few cars, and you kind of can move on from stuff. Hopefully that helps.
This might stay a little bit longer though.
Yeah, oh, that's interesting. There you go. You heard it here first. And let us know in the comments if you're sort of waiting for your GTI or your Golf, and we'll happily help you out. But I'm certainly a big fan of the GTI, and yeah, grateful to have the chance to kind of drive it and to share it with you at this kind of early stage too. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and thanks again so much for kind of sharing the bits. And comment below, subscribe, plenty more content to come, and yeah, thanks for watching.